Let me tell you about this man by the name of Paul. Yet he maintained a right attitude. As parents and as students, principal, vice principal, and as teachers, we need to maintain a right attitude. How do we react to disappointments? How do we react when we don't get our own way? Students, listen up. No matter what disappointments or frustrations we face in life, we can either let it get us down or not, depending on how we handle it, which is our attitude. If we have an attitude rather, of self-pity and feel that it is not fear, then we won't rise above it. Instead, we will feel miserable. This afternoon, parents, students, teachers, colleagues, it takes a whole new meaning when we choose to respond in a more loving way, especially in an area where someone else seems to be getting or her way above what we wanted. To have a right attitude simply means we need to stop feeling sorry for ourselves when we don't get our own way. This is a hard lesson to learn because it does hurt and it makes us angry. But we do need to try to choose to react lovingly. Taking on a wrong attitude for whatever reason causes us to become bitter inside and feel as though the whole world is against us. This is a sad and lonely place to be. But I have an encouragement to you all today. God loves you and he wants you to be free from the hurt and the anger that results in having a bad attitude. So there are going to be what? Disappointments, frustrations in life. People will let us down. The key here though is to see God do it all and allow his love into the situation. Ask him for the help you need in how you will respond to it all. My fellow colleagues, parents and students, brethren, count it all joy. James 1:2-3 tells us, when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. In spite of what we are going through, we need to portray the right attitude, having the right attitude. And with this, I end by praying for this meeting this evening. Father, we look to you, God, who have spared us this afternoon to be present in this meeting at 5:30. We thank you this afternoon for parents, students, teachers in our midst this afternoon. We pray, oh God, that as we seek the right attitude, to have the right attitude, to portray the right attitude, in spite of what we might be faced with, God, I pray that you will help us to see our way through. We commit everything. Lord, we place our attitude into your hands for you to fix our attitude. The attitude of our parents, the attitude of our teachers, the attitude of our students. God, we need a change of attitude. We need a right approach, Almighty God, in order for us to see the St. Mary Technical High School grow from strength to strength. Take full control of this today's meeting as we commit the rest of it into your hands, God Almighty, as we give thee thanks. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I will now hand over to our moderator, Mrs. Fergus Gotsmore.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henry. we need to have the right attitude. And because we're aiming at having the right attitude, we are meeting here today. I want to say good afternoon again to the parents and the teachers. I am Miss Gutsmore Ferguson, and I'm acting as grade supervisor for grade 8. Miss Walters Green is supervisor for grade 7. And I'd like to welcome you all to this evening's PTA session. But before we get into it, there's this story that I'm always using or always telling to my students. I'm always saying to them, I watched this movie and there was this sculptor. He found a rock, and for days he was scraping away at the rock, scraping away at the rock, scraping away at the rock. But in the end, there was a lovely, lovely statue. And all the people came and they were so excited. Oh, wow, what a lovely statue you've made. And the sculptor looked at them and said, the statue was always there. What I did was scrape away the rough edges. And I liken that to teachers. I always likened it to myself. I'm saying, the students are already what they are. All we are doing, all I am doing is scraping away at these rough edges. So they're already, whatever it is that they want to turn out to be. But it's our duty to make them better. So we are quite passionate about creating dreams and fostering ambitions. So we are invested in the lives of your children. George Santana says, a child educated only in school is an uneducated child. So it takes more than just school, right? There has to be a relationship between parents and teachers. We're having this meeting with the grade 7s and 8s because we are advocates for clear and open communication so that we can have the best outcome for our children. So just be reminded, we have a few issues and the issues cannot go unmentioned if we are going to have this outcome that we all desire. So that is why we are here today. But I'm going to allow the principal and vice principals and the PTA president to bring greetings in that order. Mr. Richards, over to you.
Let me say thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry, for starting us out and telling us that we must have the right attitude. I thank you so much for those words. And of course, Mrs. Gutsmore Ferguson, for reminding us that we are true servants, true nation builders, as we try to refine the rough edges that may be involved in terms of educating and socializing our students into what we want them to become in life in partnership with our parents. Let me use this opportunity to acknowledge my two VPs, Mr. Orville Jones and our acting vice principal, Mrs. Avis Wilson. Let me give a big shout out to the senior management team, members of the senior management team, and all teachers who are present, members of the academic staff. Of course, our partners, not in crime, but our partners in education, our parents. And you notice the word I use, parents, partners. Why? It simply means that by myself as a school, and we look at ourselves as one body, the school community, meaning that let me explain what I mean. I'm referencing to the teachers, principals. Of course, I'm a teacher first. All the members of staff at school, we are one body. So we are the school. By ourselves, we are not. We don't have any partner. when the parents come into focus and come into play, then we can form a partnership. And I want you to understand exactly what I'm saying. When you come to the forefront and work with us in unison, simply means that we have a body called the parent body, and we have another body called the student body. We have another body called the school body. Then we form a partnership. And we form a partnership for the betterment for one purpose, which is nation building, which is to ensure that your children, they have a productive and a future to look forward to, one in which they can thrive, one in which they can basically become somebody. If I hear the saying, from nothing to something, you're looking at from nothing to something. Many of us are from nothing to something. Many of us, we are teachers like ourselves who basically played the part. Parents who were adamant that we had to become something. And I want to greet you like that, to say to you that I want you to exercise that passion, that motivation, that drive. I don't mind when you call me. I don't mind when you text me when the students are not online, because that is what we do as a school. We are here to serve you. And I so look forward to working with you. Some of you are 4 years, some of you are 5. The government has said 7 years mandatory. So education no longer stops at 5th form. It goes up to grade 13. It has now become mandatory. So believe it or not, your children will be with us for a while. So let us do it together. I greet you this evening to say to you, let us work as a team. Let us partner as the school community extend beyond the walls of the school. And I want to say to all our parents and students who are here, who are listening, we are in this together. We will get through this together. We will be advocates for you. We will work with you for your success. And at the end of the day, you will reap the rewards. Education is an investment, parents. And you have invested in the lives of your kids. So investment means that you have to play an active role in the partnership of the education of the children. I want to thank you, and you will hear some more from me later on going forward. And God bless you all as we go through this meeting. Thank you again, everyone.
Let me pause to acknowledge the presence of our principal, Mr. Orville Richards, our chairperson, Mrs. Anika Godsmore Ferguson, colleague vice principal, Mr. Orville Jones, all teachers, parents, and guardians. Good evening. It is my pleasure to bring greetings in this PTA this afternoon, as we are happy that parents could put aside this time to meet with us so that our children will have a progressive future. Studies have shown that parents who are involved in the life of their children, it has shown that 1, it helps improve student behavior. 2, it helps improve student performance. 3, students feel more motivated in their classes. It improves students' self-esteem and it decreases absenteeism. So today we applaud all parents who have chosen to invest this time in your child. We thank you. And as we progress in today's meeting, you will hear of our successes, and you will also hear of the challenges. Parents, teachers, we will have a productive meeting. Good afternoon.
Good evening to everyone listening on this platform. My name is Orville Jones, Vice Principal, St. Mary Technical High School. Allow me to acknowledge the persons here on this platform, starting with our principal, Mr. Orville Richards, Vice Principal, Mrs. Avis Wilson, Grade Coordinator, Mrs. Godsmore Ferguson, other members of the academic staff, our parents, and I'm certain that there are students here. Let me greet you well. As I listen to Mrs. Godsmore Ferguson making mention of that sculpture, I remember somewhere in my training of a word that came from education, educare, which means to draw out, to pull out. So what teachers are actually doing, they're pulling out of students what is already there. We refer to them as facilitators or educators, but what they actually do, as I've mentioned before, is to pull out, draw out that which is already in the child. I am going to ask our parents, or say to our parents, that where parenting is concerned, you have a responsibility to ensure that your child or children or ward get the best education that they can possibly get. You have to develop that discipline and see it as a responsibility to put in or to make that effort where the child can progress. It is important that your child get that firm footing on which to start, on which to build. Because I can tell you, the world out there is not easy. And when we work hard, then we will reap the reward. So the sacrifices that you will make now, you will benefit later. There's a common saying that our children are the future. I do not want to look at it that way. I want to say to you that our students are here now, and so they are not the future. We are preparing them to fit into society, and we want for you to come on board and to work with us and to ensure that at the end of the day, our students, your children, can fit properly into society. I wish for you a productive meeting, and certainly you will hear more from me. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Ferguson, I'm not sure Miss Green is here.
Miss Green is not here.
She had indicated that she was on her way home, so maybe we cannot
The
ask her to bring
PTA.
her this later on.
All right, so we will take the greetings from the PTA president at a later time, but we'll just get right into it. Because one of the sore points that we're having is in relations to attendance. And we're going to ask you, Mr. Richards, to address that concern.
All right. Thank you. Okay, parents, grade 7 and grade 8 parents. We know that we are operating in an online environment, and we know the reality of our situation is that there are many factors that can cause persons not to be online. But I just want to share with you what we have been experiencing as a school, one aspect of it, and it is a real cause for concern. What you are looking at, because I'm sharing my screen, so please look at your screen. What you are looking at are examples of our daily numbers as we collect them based on how students come on to the platform each day. So you notice I'm really sharing yesterday's numbers and today's numbers. Grade 8 has been doing mainly better than maybe all the other grades. They are doing the best of all the grades in the school. And their attendance is still low based on the student population that we have at grade 8. Parents, the reality is we have nearly 200 students. We have about 200 grade 7 students. And the 105 that you're seeing for yesterday in terms of attendance for grade 7. And we're talking about, remember that their names are marked, you know. So we're talking about those who go on to mark their names at the beginning of the day at 8 o'clock. So they go to their form class and the teacher will mark a register. Now, this is somewhat unacceptable. Yesterday, the 105 is the best or the highest number I have seen. Mrs. Wilson looks at it every day, so she can tell you. So this is one of the best days that we have seen. I can show you other days. See there? 198. We are consistently in the 90s for grade 7. 103, 112. So parents, these things cannot continue to happen. 108, 102. So what this is saying to us, 104, half of the grade 7 students are not attending school. And when we check all the persons who have devices and all the persons who have logged on to the learning management system, which is the Google Classroom we're talking about, simply put, Google Classroom, a lot of students, they have access and they have devices. And parents, I have seen many messages popping up in the WhatsApp group to say, for the whole day, 70 don't get any class. I can tell you that that is not true. Because even today, I sat down and I went to all of the classes. Not all, I went through randomly, popping into teachers' classes. I know the VPs do the same. I know the HODs, the head of departments do the same. And I have not popped into a class that has 20 kids. I have not gone into a class where I have seen 20 students, where one teacher have 20 students in that class. So for example, 7A students signed their name right here. So we have 26 students who signed their name to say that they are present for school yesterday. Today, 27. And I'm positive that the teachers who taught 7A today will tell me that they did not have 27 students in the class when they are having a subject area. I am positive that the 27 students did not attend the class. And we are wondering what is happening. They are going to get reports, parents. They have to do tests and exams, parents. They have to do all of those things. But I'm not going down into that because my VP will speak about that. What I'm telling you is, what I'm imploring you, remember we spoke about the partnership? You have to ensure that your child, you have a responsibility to ensure that your child, if every parent ensure that their child logs onto the system and go to their form classes, devotion, we have to bring God in the thing. So they need to go to devotion. The value has been lost where I remember my mother used to ensure that I have to go to church every Sunday, whether or not I like it. And I had to go to school and I had to go to devotion. That is how we get a blessing, when we remember God. So the children need to get their blessing by going to devotion and giving God thanks and mark their names so we can register their attendance properly. So you need to ensure that they are, you see, some of the times I call parents and you hear the baby in the background and you hear the mother or the father telling the child that you have to you have to tend to that child, or if you call a student, then tell us that they must cook. I give you a joke, I called a parent last year about an SBA and why the student is not doing the SBA. The mother look at me and tell me, so when he come from work, he ask him, kind of know what I want. Parents, while we understand the hardship of the times, if you send him go work in a local supermarket, no. He will work in that supermarket forever. And the supermarket not even paying a minimum wage. Some of them paying below the minimum wage. How we get out of that? Education. I used to work in supermarkets growing up, summer jobs. And I used to say to myself, boy, that work hard, because when you work with some Chinese and coolie people, you can't sit down. So you need to ensure that they get online and you have bought the device, you have put in the internet or bought the data. So you need to hold them responsible and ensure that they are online to do the learning. That is their job. Their job at this age should be going to class. That is their job, Just like how you have to go out there and you have to earn the money to give them. Their job is to ensure that they go online in the mornings. I like to say, when you add up all the money that you have spent, is a whole heap of money. Them enough waste. Not supposed to waste, parents. So your job, their job is to go online. A part of your job is to ensure that they go online. And I'm going to leave that right there. The numbers must be improved, parents. The numbers must be improved. It's bad that we have 200 students at grade 7, and from school start, we don't have 150 kids any one day being present for school. We are in about the 7th or 8th week of school, and we have not seen those numbers. And when we have gone through and we have audited everything, I have sat down with my colleagues and we have gone through, and it's about 30 or so grade 7 students, Mrs. Wilson and Mr. Henry and the other teachers who are here, who have never logged on to the system. All the other grade 7 students have logged on. So why are they not turning up? That's not sustainable. That spells disaster for our education system. They need to turn up in the mornings, interact with their form teachers, socialize, and mark their names so that they can benefit from school. That is the bottom line, parents. We can't have it any other way. It should be no other way. But the fact that they are making themselves available to grab education, because education is given away at St. Mary Technical High School. Please let them catch it. We're giving it away. We are throwing it out there. Please partner. It's important. A part of the partnership. They're not there with us for us to police them. So you have to be the police, the soldier, the warrior, to ensure that they are locked into the education prison. That is the only prison that I want them to be locked in, into the education prison where they can benefit. And that is my take right there on the attendance to school. They have to attend school virtually online until the government gives us the go ahead to open school. They must come online. Come online. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richards. So hinging on what Mr. Richards just discussed with us, reattendance, I want to talk about form time or attending form classes and the registration sessions. Now, we note that the students mark their names saying that they are present, yet still they do not show up for these sessions. Monday was a case in point. Now, on Monday, I showed up in 8M form class with Mrs. McCoy, and she was there, and we had to probably wait a good 5 or so minutes, 10 minutes for students to join. And when they joined, we did not have the entire cohort of students in the 8M class. See, the day's data says 28 students were present at school, yet still 11 or less was inside that classroom with us for the entire session. And in that session, we were looking at, or Mrs. McCoy was getting the form captains and the student counselors, and she had to be sending text messages via the WhatsApp to students telling them, hey, come on and join. And even then, with sending them text messages, 28 students did not show up. They have a timetable, they were scheduled, and I'm always hearing, oh, teacher's not going to. They are there because I went and she was there, and she was there without students, and she had to send them text messages for them to show up. And she had to say, XYZ, you marked your names, that means you have access, you need to come. And it can't be. It can't be. You have to push them, you have to prod them. Just as how we push and prod, remember, you know, it's a partnership. So we have to push and prod together. We want to see them successful. When they're successful, we are excited, we are happy, we are beaming, just like you. When they're not so successful, you are disappointed, we are disappointed too. And we don't want the disappointment, we don't like it, so we have to work together. In form time or form classes, we build social skills. Right, that's what we do. So it's not just education, we have to build these social skills, right? We have announcements and reminders. You won't know what's going on at school if you're not coming to school. And then you put all the blame on the teachers. It can't be, it shan't be. Okay, parents, you have to help us. Help us help your kids. All right, I am going to now ask Miss Avis Wilson to speak to us about not completing tasks.
Good evening again, parents and teachers. My task at this time is to look at failure to complete assigned tasks in a timely manner. I wish to pause to thank all parents who are encouraging their child or children to complete their homework, their classwork, monthly tests, or any additional reading which is assigned in the class. We are finding out because we have to audit the classrooms. And we are finding out that there is high non-compliance in the submission of especially homework. There is high non-compliance. Parents, when we had the orientation session, we shared how the percentage for each task, homework, classwork, monthly test, and exam is done. Homework is valued 10% of the student's total grade. Classwork, another 10%. Monthly test, 20%. And the end of term examination, 60%. Therefore, if a child does not complete homework, classwork, monthly test, and when it is exam time, they show up and complete the examination, that child cannot receive more than 60%. Okay? We want also to say that the records are kept forever. These records, since the school opened, we have records there for every student who have passed through. So some time back, someone who attended the institution in 1980 got a job overseas, and they sent an ask for a transcript. What am I saying? That these records should be left. You should leave a good record. Try to encourage the children to complete the task, because we know that there are many children who are going to go to various countries to live as adults. And each job, each career, they ask for a transcript from your high school. Sometimes they don't even ask the person to write to the high school. When it is stated that I attended St. Mary Technical High from 2021, and you add 6 years to that, to 2027, they email the school or they call and ask for the record of such persons. So we are going to admonish parents to encourage the children. Let them take the device to you. If you don't know how to operate the device, let them take the device to you and say, show me your Spanish class. Show me your math class. Show me your geography class. And when you get it, you'll see a section in the Google Classroom marked grades. You click that section and you will see if your child has submitted any task. It will say missing if they did not submit the task. And it will say turned in if they have submitted the task. So ask them to open the device. Many of them have locked up the device on us, have password and all these things. Tell them to open the device, take you to the classes. And when you go, look at the top, you see grades. Touch it, because most of them have phones or laptop or tablets. And you will see the grades at that time. And as I said, if you see missing, your child did not submit the task. However, if you see submitted or turned in, you'll see turned in. And if it is marked, you will see the grade there. We don't want any surprises. So we are going to ask one last time. Please make sure that homework is completed, classwork is completed, monthly tests are completed, and when it is examination time, that those two are also completed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wilson. See, our behavior, the behavior for children, it will follow them. Their attendance will follow them. The lack of attendance will follow them. I remember this quote, life is a path of untrodden snow. Be careful how you trod, because every mark will show. Life is a path of untrodden snow. Be careful how you trod, because every mark will show. You know, when I was asking the teachers what were some of the issues they were having, and they started listing the issues, one teacher decided to show me. So the teacher sent me a message where she took a picture of her screen where she was having a conversation with the student inside the Google Classroom. The grade was missing. It says missing. So the teacher asked, where is your test? You were early for class. So the student was early for class and did not do the test. The student responded by saying, Miss, I had to go to class because I didn't have time because you were talking and I got the test late. So the teacher says, no way. We are timetabled for class 9:10 to 9:50. The test was posted 9:13. That's a lame excuse. The student says, my internet isn't working good, so my test came late. That's what I saw. Now, the blame changes now from the teacher talking to the time to now the internet being the issue, because the internet is now the scapegoat for everything, not having the internet. And then the student went on to say, and my other class start, so I couldn't finish it. So the teacher says, but if your internet isn't working good, how is it that you were able to go to another class? Now, these are some of the challenges that we are having. Now, we understand the connectivity issues because as teachers, we have them too. All right? But the work is on the platform, it stays there. Now, I know if you had a connectivity issue and you text or email your teacher and say, Miss, I had an issue yesterday, or Miss, I was absent from class. There was a test, I noticed it's closed. Could you open this for me? I am sure the teacher will do that, right? So these are some of the challenges we are having, and we do understand the internet connectivity issue because we as teachers are having that too, but we have to put measures in place to ensure that teaching and learning is taking place whether or not we have the internet access. We have to ensure that we get this, or we have to ensure that we are preempting lessons or preempting the fact, oh, you know, I might be having class and the internet might go. I need to ensure that there's something there that teaching and learning takes place whether or not I am there. So we are asking to monitor the children. And as Ms. Avis Wilson said, check. It tells you whether the work was submitted or whether the work is missing, right? So you can do your checks. You have to check, you have to follow up. We are doing these checks, you know, but you have to help us. It is a partnership. You have to help us, help them, all right? Now, another issue that we're having is that sometimes they press or select submit, but has not attached any work. So we see submit, but there's no work there. So you have some parents that, oh, we look for submit, but the parent doesn't go deeper to see what it is that the child has submitted. But when the teacher looks, we see the word submit, we see that, but there's no work there. And that too is a sore point. You'll give them work to do, open-ended questions, and they put full stops and dots and question marks and X, Y, Z, Z, Y, X, on as answers. We have to monitor the children, all right? So we have to look at that. Now, the other thing, teacher was complaining about lack of response. So they're inside the classroom, the students are there, and one teacher complained, Miss, I feel like I'm in a cemetery, I'm talking to the dead because nobody is responding. I'm talking to myself, I'm teaching myself, I'm asking the questions, and I'm providing the answers. Nobody is responding. And if she does not get upset and decide she's going to go, nobody says, Miss, may we try? And that is also an issue, the lack of response in the online space. So they're not coming, and if they do come, they're not responding, they're tight-lipped. Yes, Mr. Henry, they're tight-lipped, right? And that is a concern, all right? At this time, I am going to ask Mr. Jones to address the using social media while they're on the learning management system.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Godsmore Ferguson. Again, parents and students, colleagues, good evening. Let me just say a bit on lack of response to teachers. It is a major concern when the students sit there and they're asked questions and you get no response, or they quickly leave the Google Classroom. In order for students to learn, they must be involved. They must be actively involved, engaged. The teacher is now going to weigh the response, can have a discussion. Teacher can't just sit there, present information, ask question, and nobody answer, and the teacher cannot have a discussion. Because students will have misconceptions, and it is through these discussions that the teacher is going to clarify the misconceptions of the students. Therefore, they must be actively involved in the lesson. I always say to the students, never allow a class to end on your ignorance. Make sure that you know, make sure that you find out. Ask the questions, even if your peers are going to laugh at you. You just want to clarify the misconceptions that you have. So encourage the children to be involved in the lesson by actively participating. All right, using social media while on the learning management system, LMS. Now we have realized that there are students who are on the system, or you see where they are active, but when it is time for class, they are not there. They are gone. It can't be. It cannot be. Parents, again, you have to be vigilant. You have to partner with us. You have to find out what is happening. Take the timetable, look to see what is happening, and say, where is the work given to you? I would like to see it when I get home, and go through it from time to time. They don't know when you're going to check. You have a responsibility, parents, to supervise, to be vigilant where these students are concerned. So they can't be on some other platform when they should be in Google Classroom. And that is happening. Some students are watching Netflix, whatever that is. You know, they're watching all sort of things and not doing what they're supposed to do. Time wasted can never be regained. So please ensure that they stay in Google Class and follow the timetable given. There are certain things that we expect from them when they are using the Google Classroom and they open their camera and all of that. So give them that kind of space or create an area where they can have, you know, some amount of privacy and free from interference. And make sure that they are presentable as well, because maybe from time to time the teacher may ask, could you open your camera to let me see what is happening? You know, so and we expect them to do that. And at times maybe the area might not be, you know, so create a space somewhere where they can have this kind of privacy and have, you know, class that way. Some teachers also complain about you know, noise pollution, you know, persons quarreling, you know, big truck passing, you know, so create a space where they can, you know, have that kind of privacy and can learn in a more conducive environment. So speak to them on the issue of going on other platforms while or when they should be in Google Classroom, because that is what some students are doing. They're not using the data or the Wi-Fi to go in Google Class when it's time for them to go to class, and they are elsewhere on other social media having, as a former principal would say, a cat a one bus time, you know, and that is not what I know that you want as parents. So supervision is what we're driving home this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. I believe the PTA president had entered the, so we want to give her an opportunity to address you this evening. That's the PTA president, Miss Green. We want to give her an opportunity to address you this evening. After which we'll go into looking at taking questions and answers. 10 questions or answers. I think we've covered all the concerns that the teachers were having, and I'm sure our parents might have some concerns of their own. So we'll look at taking 10. Ms. Green?
Good evening, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
All right, good evening. Sorry for my late admission. I was on my way from work and I am having some internet issues at this moment. So let me just get out of the way. All protocols that have been observed. I just want to greet the parents and to encourage them at this time not to give up in spite of what's happening. I want you all to try your best to assist with the education of your child or children. I know the online platform sometimes poses challenges, because sometimes it is a challenge for me as well when the internet is acting up. But for most parts, we can hop into the class as the principal said earlier on, pop into the classrooms when classes are being held. Because for most parts, when my kids are at school, when I can, I log into class as well to see if they're there and if they're participating. Now, observing some of the incidents with students, I was at one of my daughter's class and I heard the teacher saying that they should have 20 students here, and for the day, 7 of them turn up. And this does not look good on us as parents. I understand that we are working, yes, but if it was face to face, we would have to find time to get it sorted out. So I want you to do your best to fix these issues, because it's somewhat strenuous on the teachers to be teaching the students online and asking questions and they're not answering, or they don't do the assignments that the teachers have left for them. So I want parents and the students to do your best in this time. Put all the effort, because at the end of the day, I don't think Mr. Richards is going to give anybody any repeat. And at the end of the day, education matters. So I encourage us all to put our best foot forward and do what we can to assist the teachers and as well as the students in this situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Green. So at this time, we'll have the question and answer section. Is there a raise hand feature here? Or they write it in the chat and we'll monitor?
Yes, sorry, Mrs. Gutsmore. Parents can use those persons who know how to do it. You can use the raise hand feature. There's something called reaction there, and you can use it to raise your hand. Or you can feel free to type your question in the chat. We will take, as Mrs. Gutsmore said, about 10 persons. And then we want to hear from you. That's why we call it partnership. So we have done our part in the partnership to speak. Now we need to hear from our parents. Whether you have suggestions, whether you have a concern, whatever it is, this is the forum. If we can't deal with it in this forum, we'll definitely take your details and we will call you, or we'll invite you in at school, not for face-to-face teaching, but for dialogue to really ventilate whatever issues you have. Right, so please use the chat feature. See, 2 hands are raised. And Mrs. Gutsmore, we have Tomoy Dakers and a Denton. So I will give them permission to go ahead in that order. So Dakers, go ahead first, please.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. We are hearing you.
Okay. My concern is I try to set an alarm where, based on the timetable that my nephew has. So whenever alarm goes off, maybe 2 minutes or so before, I'll say, come with the tablet, let's check to see if the teacher is in class. I notice that sometimes you just have to click the Google Meet to join the class, as well as sometimes I notice teachers will just post work in Google Classroom for students. So I'm saying, if there's nobody here to explain the information, how is it that the child is going to get the information? I have been there and I see where we log into Google Classroom, we check multiple times, no teacher is there. So not only students is to be blamed, teachers are to be blamed as well. And I'm talking about what I see with my own eyes. I see where he logs in. I said, come with the Chromebook, the tablet, let me check myself. And when I check, no work, no teacher is there. So how is it that, who is accountable for those teachers who are not turning up sometimes too? I must tell you, for the math teacher, I can always depend on the math teacher to be in class. I can always depend on the music teacher to be in class. But some teachers are not turning up too. So teachers have to be responsible too.
Okay, Ms. Dakers, we have heard you, and we have no issue with what you have said. First point, you would have mentioned that some persons do post some of the work in the classrooms at time. There are times, I must say to you that there are times when teachers would have reached out to us as admin, which maybe parents would not be aware of, to say to us that, for example, the internet is down in their area, they have no electricity, or the cable has been stolen. Because I know that for some teachers, I know two particular teachers know who have bought data to put on their devices, or have gone to other person's house to have classes because the cable or the fiber was stolen from their area. We do say to you, Ms. Dakers, you have my number. My number is out there in the parent WhatsApp group. If it's a case where you have seen a trend and the teacher is not, because we can't be everywhere all the time, and a particular teacher is not there, feel free to say to me, 7A, mathematics, for example, just an example. Sir, I have recognized that we have the teacher now, we don't know what is happening, we don't see the teachers. But there are sometimes parents also where, and we do take responsibility. We have to take responsibility. We have to be accountable. And I'm not circumventing that. We have to be accountable if teachers are not there when they should be there. We have to take that responsibility. I say to you, that responsibility is on us as a school. And I'm not going to go around that. Because the fact of the matter is, I have to be very objective and I have to be very fair. If I'm saying to you that students must turn up for classes, teachers must go too. And that is the bottom line. There's no going around that. That is what, first of all, that is what we are employed to do, to attend our classes. We do know that there are what we refer to as extenuating circumstances that the parent might not be aware of. And sometimes we may not get a chance to post that a teacher may not be there for that particular class. We may not be able to post that at all times. That's one of the reasons why I remember a meeting yesterday, Mrs. Wilson, myself, and a couple other persons had, where she would have indicated to a teacher to say, I am here, I am waiting, to students in the stream, I am waiting on you. Or if it's a case that they have internet outage or some issue, they post it in the stream to say, I do apologize for not being there today, but I had an issue with the internet, so I will try to be there for next class. But we do have classes that we refer to as asynchronous classes, which are not live classes. Not every day the teachers will come on live, but at the end of the day, the communication must be clear to the students. I do concur with what you're saying, that teachers have to be responsible, and as the principal of the school, we have to be responsible to ensure that teachers are at their classes. And it is duly noted, mistakers, please, if you see a trend, parents, and I'm saying that loud and clear, parents, if you see that as a trend, don't be afraid to call us or send us a message to say that you have recognized that this teacher for this class is not at class for the last 2 days or whatever it is. We will deal with that. I give you my assurance right there. Ms. Wilson, don't know if you want to add to what I have said.
Sir, just that, as you said, Miss had asked who is accountable, and we are accountable. We have over 66 teachers on staff, and we do go to the classes. We do monitor the classes at times. However, if there is anything there, as Mr. Richard says, we are both in the parent groups with the guidance counselors. Please, you can direct message us or call us, and we will respond to you accordingly.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wilson. There are times, though, parents, where a message is placed in a group to say that there is no teacher, for example, for 7S all day. And when we do check that, that is not true, because sometimes I don't think the reality of it though, parents, is I get your mistakes and I do thank you for the point. I totally appreciate that. And we make ourselves, I can't underscore the fact, I can't overemphasize the fact that we make ourselves available. Principals, VP, grade supervisors, HODs make themselves available to offer the supervision to ensure that your child get what they're supposed to get. We're not going around that, right? But we have to just be careful sometimes, because some of the time the students, I'm happy that you checked for yourself mistakes to realize that the child is not misleading you, because sometimes the students do mislead the parent because the parent don't understand the technology. They will tell the parent, oh, we're not getting a class all day, just to save themselves, when that is not true. So we have to just make sure that we do our checks, as mistakers would have said, right? We just have to make our checks. All right, very good. Thank you for that point, and we do respect that, and we definitely will look out going forward. We will ramp up our supervision. We will heighten it. We will do a little bit more supervision to ensure that what you have just mentioned, it is not taking place. Denton, please unmute and go ahead. We will take a few of the chat shortly. Ms. Denton, I don't know if it's a male or a female. Go ahead, please.
Good night, Principal, sir.
Good night.
Parents and teachers, good night. I just have one question to ask. And the book list, we get a note there that 2 literatures book will be provided for children and path. Son Sang and My Father Son Johnson. Don't hear anything from it, and there in 7A is getting work from Father Son Johnson. Can you give us some information on that, sir, please, and thanks.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your question. Let me highlight to the fact that we have over 500 students on path. For grade 7 and 8, I'm not sure of the numbers, but we have a lot of students on path. We do have a few literature books that were given to us, just about enough for a class. Forgive me, Mr. Jones spoke about the noise pollution and a truck was passing out the road. So you have to forgive me for that, because we do understand those things. But we just have about a class size amount, maybe about 30, between 30 and 40 literature books. What normally happens as a school is that those books are not, we tell the students not to buy them, because when we were operating face-to-face regular school, the teachers will take those books to the school, to the class, sorry, take them to the class, and they use them for that class time and give them back. The students are not normally given those books to take home. So we did not distribute those because of the fact that we don't have enough to give to anybody. We can't give some and not give some. What we will do is ask through the HOD and through the VPs to ask the teachers to maybe scan a passage when they're going to use it, scan a passage and post it in the Google Classroom so that all students can have access to that passage or that chapter that they're using for that day. But we don't have enough of those books to distribute. So that question came last year too, and it is the same answer. We can't distribute those. So I hope that that answer suffices.
Sir, if the parent can purchase, it will be good, because sometimes the government says they are sending things, but just as Mr. Richards says, it's a class set that was sent and not an entire grade or for those on path, every student on path for a grade. So it's a class set, and that's why it wasn't distributed, because if we should distribute it, then when we ask for it to be returned, I can assure you that less than 50% will be sent back to the school. And so we have to keep it for when face-to-face comes, that everybody will be able to access it at that time.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Wilson. Thank you for your question, Ms. Denton. I see our parents talking about HFLE link. Romario Lee spoke about 7R HFLE link. We would have actioned that today. We noticed that it's not that the teacher was not there, but that the link was just not made visible for the students. We would have contacted the teacher just to, it would have been an oversight. So we would have fixed that. If it is still not fixed, please let me know. because the HFLE, the link to click on join the class, the teacher was made aware of that. I will check it as soon as I'm done here to ensure that it is made visible for the students to see it. All right, I see Miss Hutchinson is saying that her daughter did a Spanish exam and they were marked wrong. You would have to speak with the Spanish teacher. 7M, is that Miss Daly? So you would have
yes, sir, that's me.
So
I can clarify that right now, yes.
No, man, I think that is something that you can clarify directly with the parent. All right, so you can message each other directly, Miss Daly, and you can clarify that directly with the. I don't know if that issue would have affected anybody else, but that is something definitely that can be resolved between you and the parent in a private manner. That's what I'm thinking. If you wanted to speak or if you wanted to go ahead, it's fine, but that's my suggestion. All right, so far my son is in Miss Clark's form class. No problem, the teachers show up. They don't leave work. We call Miss Clark. Thank you, Miss Clark. You always make yourself available to assist my son. Even if you don't respond same time, you do so later down. Excellent, excellent, all good news. We love that. You see how efficient our teachers are to a very large extent, right? Good. Oh, I have one problem.
Excuse me, Mr. Richards. I also want to point out that she's actually at somebody's house today in order to ensure that her classes had work to do because her internet is out.
All right, thank you very much. So, parents, I want to say something. Let me interject something here. I don't want to overextend the meeting beyond a certain time. But parents, I want you to understand something, you know, the teachers, our teachers generally in Jamaica right now, the fact of the matter is we have to reinvent ourselves. I don't know if you understand exactly what I mean. We're accustomed to going into the classroom with our whiteboard markers and our dusters, planning our lessons, bringing a projector from every now and then, and all of those things. But now we are forced to digitize our lessons, meaning that we have to go and learn how to use Google Classroom and teach the kids how to use the Google Classroom too. Teachers have to plan until hours in the night to get ready for classes. And it is not a good feeling to know that when you turn up, there's nobody there. I've seen pictures, teachers send me screenshot to say, sir, I am the only one there. I have gone into teachers' classes and the teacher and the principal teaching each other because we're the only ones there. So I want you to understand what we're saying. And likewise, when you buy the devices and you invest in the internet, the teachers must turn up. I can't say it one-sided, I have to say it both sides. So you have to work with us and we have to ensure that you have to ensure that your children do their part and we have to ensure that our teachers play their role. And that is the bottom line. And I want everybody to understand that aspect of it. Right? Miss Leamy, your hand is up. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My son is in 7R and I have positive news. I want to thank his form teacher, Mr. Turnbull, who I think is doing an excellent job for us. He's doing a very excellent job for us. His other teachers, yes. In the matter where there are no links for classrooms, I must give thanks to, I don't know the person who responded to me the 2 times that I had requested some assistance. It was prompt, it was quick. My son was able to join class in a little bit of time. So I just want to encourage the teachers, all the teachers, but especially the grade 7R teachers to just continue to just do the good work that you're doing. I ask that you exercise patience with some of the students because sometimes, you know, as educators, we take it for granted that the children might know how to upload these assignments. And some of them don't. Some of them don't because I see children asking other students how you did this, how you do that. So sometimes they just don't know, and some of them are in homes that the persons are not knowledgeable on that subject either. So maybe that's a question that could be asked. Do you know how to upload your work and stuff like that? You know, because some persons are not that technologically savvy. So I just want to big up all the teachers from the 7R classroom, the RE teachers, the religious education teacher, agriculture teacher, everyone. Mr. Turnbull, you're doing a good job. Thank you, sir.
Good news, good news, good news, and we are grateful for the good news. Thank you very much. The school phone lines does not work in order for us to call, should in case we can't get to a teacher direct. I think every parent right now know the principal's number. I'm almost positive that every parent knows the principal's number. So once you're in the WhatsApp group, you know the principal's number. So whatever the issues are, we know that the phone lines are down. Those cables were again stolen. We have no control over that, but we have made ourselves available through providing you with the WhatsApp groups. And everybody, parents call me left, right, and center. Send me messages. And parents, we have to be a little bit more discreet in terms of the time we send the messages. I remember Mr. Jones and myself were taken to task by a parent. The parent sent me a message at 7:45 p.m. on a Friday. Right, so of course the response would not come because 7:45 p.m. on a Friday, TGIF, we thank God it's Friday too, you know. We want our Friday evenings to come, just like how everybody want the Friday evening to come, because we have to rest, we have to relax, we have to rejuvenate and plan and prepare for Monday morning. So the response did not come Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. The parent texted me at 7:38 the Monday morning saying, look how long she texted me and she not getting a response. And she was rather brash and harsh and rude. And she turned up at school and she proceeded to want to be very rude to us. And I had to stand my ground because I'm saying we will not be bullied. You understand? We will not be bullied. You cannot be texting us at those hours and expect that you're going to be getting a response and you don't get it over the weekend and you're going to text us 7:38 the Monday morning to tell me that when I said to you, Miss, nice voice message I sent, you know, to say, Miss, you would not get a response because it is a weekend and school is between 8 and 3 p.m. and all of those things. The parent was pleased enough to tell me that she was not home twiddling her fingers and all of those things. So parents, we have to be discreet, and you can't want help and go like you want bully and bad up people. That is not how it works. Because I know myself and I had to exercise restraint and control because I don't like nobody bad me up. No bad me up. Don't try bad me up. If you try bad me up, it not going to end well at all. Can you tell us that two bulls can't rain in a one pen? Right? So the fact of the matter is we are here to serve you, but we do so with respect and discretion and understand that we have to respect boundaries. Very important. We have to respect boundaries. And you have to know that the weekend belongs to the teacher. So give the teachers chance with their families. And believe it or not, teachers use the weekend to prepare for work on Monday morning. So we are not robots. We are not plugged in. We have to get that thing called sleep and rest. All right? So we are beginning the understanding there. Good. So remember, you can reach us through our WhatsApp group. All parents should be in the WhatsApp group by now. We have over 150 persons in the grade 7 WhatsApp group. So I don't understand only 90-something students attending class. And I would want to even go further and say I don't mean any disrespect by this, but parents, if you have access, the student must have access. If you have access, parents, the students must have access. So if you have a device, I want to say to you at some point, some sacrifice has to be made for the greater good, right? I mean, no disrespect, but I'm just being pretty straight up and straightforward where that is concerned. Big up yourself, Mr. Henry. I'm seeing a comment that is congratulating you. I'm running through them already. What if my child was a transfer student? He just got added. Is it, well, you would have to discuss that with all the teachers. You are in the classrooms. The teachers are accommodating. The teachers can allow you to submit something that is late, but that is through discussion with the teachers. They are there approach them. Send them a private message in the comment section in the stream. Teachers will respond. All right? Good. Let me clarify something. 7R HFLE, that would have been Miss Daisy and Reed. Unfortunately, Miss Reed is off on leave, parents, and we have not found a replacement yet for Miss Reed. We have found somebody to take the PE classes, and we have managed to reassign the Spanish classes, but we have not found a replacement, hence the reason why you're not seeing HFLE. That information was just passed on to me. So let me apologize for that. That's the reason why you're not seeing HFLE, because the teacher is off on leave and we have not found a suitable replacement for that. We have assigned the two most important one, the Spanish and the PE, so that the students can not miss anything. Unfortunately, not discriminating against HFLE, but we do not have a teacher for that at this time, for 7R. So please bear with us. We're trying our best to fix the situation. All right. Does the school have the book Backfire? No, I don't think we have that, miss. You would have to purchase that one if you need it. We would want to know Jolene Tingo, who is which grade 7 your child is in, so we can note which history class. Mrs. Gutsmore, please note. She's saying that she has not gotten any history class in September. Jolene Tingo, so we can investigate and see what is happening there. I don't know if she's not logging on to the class, or is it that the teacher has not turned up? We need to find out what is happening there.
Oh, sir, she's saying she has not seen a link. I just wanted to say through you, Mr. Richards, that sometimes if you don't see a link, click the camera icon. So not every time that you go to the class, a link is there. So you can click the camera icon and then you will be, you can enter the class. So if you don't see the link, click the camera icon and you can enter the class. If you're using a laptop, click join. You see the big camera icon and join. That is what you should use to enter the class.
All right. Any book that you have not received, maybe a book that we are out of. I'm running through the chat. So an English book, if you have not received it, maybe we don't have any in the book room. We have not received any book this year. Many schools have not received any. I know it is a big issue in terms of, I did see a communication this week from them to say that they know that they have not sent out any books and they will send the books to the school soon, but we are short of books. So we can't do anything about that until the ministry sends us books. Leila and Chadwick, unmute and go ahead, please.
Just a moment. Okay, I'm here. I just wanted to say that I am a mother of Chadwick Robinson in grade 7A. And I've been having a lot of difficulties with him on the online classes. First, he was in the wrong class. Then we finally sort that out. Then his password would not work. Sort that out. Again, the password would not work. Sort it out again. Then they stole the cable line. So we had no internet, so we had no WhatsApp, nothing at all. And I'm so frustrated because I want him to learn, but at this point he's falling behind because it's like every week there's something new. Something new goes wrong with this online class. And I'm not blaming the teachers because I know it's technical difficulties. So I'm a mother, I'm trying, but it is not easy.
We just have to be persistent, miss. I know you're not alone in that. Believe it or not, you're not alone in that. I know there are parents who can relate to your story. So I just want to say to you, don't give up, right? You just have to continue, pray about it. God answers prayer, right? Believe it or not. And I mean, just don't give up. We don't know when school will be reopened for grade 7 or 8, but we just can't, whenever they say we can reopen, we'll be ready to open our doors for our students. But until then, I encourage you to be persistent, all right?
Okay then.
All right, great. Thank you for sharing. Mrs. Edwards McCormack, You're being commended. Mr. Davy, the last hand is up. This is the last hand that we're going to take for tonight. Mr. Davy, you can unmute and go ahead.
Yes, good night, everybody.
Yes, good night. I'm
You
hearing you.
hearing me?
Yes.
Yes. I am listening the comments and the problems that school is facing where it concerns students being in class. And I am thinking, how about it is made mandatory? I know that there is a data problem for a lot of parents, or the affordability. Some parents cannot afford the data or stuff like that. But I am thinking that the best way to control students participating in class and being in class, and the teachers can guarantee that these kids are in the class, is to have them on the video call throughout the classes, because it's the only way they can monitor a student being in the class. As Mr. Jones would have mentioned, with their background, every house supposed to can find that small piece of cloth, a plain piece of cloth, to make a background where they can sit down their child and let them remain there for their class. So that way the teacher won't have to be teaching themselves or being there talking on, begging for participation, and students maybe just signing and gone out a road game play, or they're going to do something else. So I don't know how much of a help that can be, or if it can be made mandatory for students to be in a video class so the teacher and the parents can monitor them. That's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davy, for your comments and your suggestion. I know initially when we started online school, the ministry would have stated that the video should be turned on. Initially, I think they backtracked on that to say that it's not mandatory. They sent us a bulletin on that to say that we cannot mandate that because of the very same reason you mentioned, that the affordability of data and all of those things. This year, last year they would have indicated that they would have zero rated all the Google Classroom platform, which I don't believe that ever happened. But I have not heard anything about that aspect of the operation this year, where they would have zero rated the thing for the students. But your comment is well appreciated. It's logical to ensure that we can see what is happening and we can monitor what is happening in classes. But when we look at where our kids are, and based on the fact that a lot of parents are finding it very difficult financially right now, and I know it is hard, especially if they don't have Wi-Fi and has to be using data, then that really is hard. But parents, when with the ones who are on Wi-Fi, I would suggest that you tell your child to ensure that they find that space and they turn on their cameras dressed in their PE shirt or even their uniforms, because sooner or later, if school open, them have uniform too, and I know some parents would have bought that. Put on their uniform shirt and represent the school, because it is school, right? Or your plain white t-shirt, and turn on your cameras so that the teachers can monitor properly. We do thank you for the suggestion, and I do hope parents, as a school, we can't mandate it. That's one of the points I want to make. As a school, we can't mandate it based on that bulletin there. We have to follow the ministry's policy as what they send out to us. But parents can mandate it. Parents can mandate it, and they can dialogue and communicate with teachers to find out, was Donald Henry at class today? Did he turn on his camera? Or whatever the case may be. So parents, that's a good suggestion that Mr. Davy made. So, and one of the things about it is Mr. Jones, as always, and Ms. Wilson, and I don't know, a lot of my teachers always emphasize it, building relationships with the teachers. It is critical for you to know what is happening with your child at school. So if you build that relationship with the teachers, and you would have mandated your child, you can find out from the teacher, send the teacher a text message when you're at work. Is Natoya Wilson at class? Is her camera on? You understand? So you are helping the teacher really to help you, so we eliminate some of these issues, right? So because the fact of the matter is they mark their name and then disappear. As teacher call on them, then jump out of the meet. As the teacher say, Orville Richards, youngest one message pop up, Orville Richards left out of the Google Meet. So thank you, Mr. Davy. Point well taken. And I think a lot of congratulations are coming in for the teachers. I see a parent here, Raquel Llewellyn says, sir, I want to talk in all capital letters. So Raquel, I'm going outside the protocol. I'm going to give you a chance to speak. So go ahead, unmute and speak. Click on the little microphone to unmute and speak.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Yes,
Yes.
so glad you acknowledged me, sir. I've been having this problem with my son and this pastor, Joshua and Nugent. When school started, he started and got his class okay. Then all of a sudden, the thing gone, and it's telling him that the password has been deleted. He was unable to get into class. I went by the school. Well, the laptop went dead that day. Anyway, we got a message from the school and they sent us, for those parents and students who wasn't getting through, they sent us some password. All right, he got on to class. Last week now, the thing gone again. Since last week, he's not been able to get into any class.
I'm not hearing you again, but you're unmuted.
Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you now. Go ahead.
I'm saying since last week again, my son Joshua in Nugent of 7A is unable to get into his classroom.
All right. Miss Llewellyn, Mr. Richards personally will deal with it tomorrow morning. Send Mr. Richards a message tomorrow morning at about 9 o'clock, and I will sort it out for you. Well, text me.
Do I have a number for Mr. Richard? Is he in the
Yes, man. I'm in all the groups. Every parent know when Mr. Richards posts. Let me post something in the parent group right now, yes, to tell you to contact me, and I will get Mr. Nugent in online. We'll find a way to get him online. That's what we do, right?
Okay,
and we are grateful.
I'm going to be on the road. Well, I work in the days, so even though I have the internet at home, but there is somewhere where I pay the lady to supervise him while I am not at work. So could I send the link to that lady and ask her to engage with you, because I will be on the road tomorrow and I would like to,
No problem. Even today we have done that. Even today we have, the parent was at work, and she gave me the brother's number, and I called the brother, and we got the child on. So we don't have a problem.
So he's been missing out on all his classes, no tests, no homework, no assignment.
No, listen. If the password, listen, I want you to understand something, parents. The first password we give you, when you log on, it asks you to change to a stronger password. When you change it, we don't know it. So remember that when you're changing it, you have to write it down to know it. So
yes.
So if that is the case, then unless you say to us that the child is, remember you said that you went to the school and the laptop was dead,
Yes, and then they gave me another password. He put it in, he was getting on his class. Then last week, one day, nothing up until today again. It is telling him that the password has been changed.
What I see happen was the same case. What happened is that there's an email on the phone or on the device that is conflicting with the one that we gave as a school. So what it is doing is that, because the one that you have, that is not the one that we gave you to be used with the Google Classroom. I'm just explaining what is happening. What is happening is that you're not getting the updates because you're not using the email that we have given you for the Google Classrooms. You're not getting the updates as to the test and all of those things. But we will, as I said to you, we will fix it tomorrow. Just send me a message. I just put a message in the grade 7 PTA group for you to send me a message directly, and we will get on it first thing in the morning.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the lady to contact you tomorrow for
Yes,
me.
man. No problem. No problem. No problem. That's what we do. We're here to
Hold
serve.
on, I just hope this thing, because
It
when
will
I am
listen.
at work
It
and
will
he's
work.
calling
Miss
me, he said,
Llewellyn,
Mom,
Miss
I get
Llewellyn,
in class,
Miss
and I
Llewellyn,
get so
I
frustrated
know
because
I
I
know your
am at
passion.
home.
I'm hearing your
I can't
passion.
help him. You understand?
Mr. Richards and the school community has heard your passion, and we will do everything we can do to get the child on.
And listen, I have to be paying for my Wi-Fi and I have to pay the lady at the end of the week also.
Miss
So
Miss
it's not
Llewellyn,
a free for all.
Miss
So it
Llewellyn,
is really stressing knowing
Miss
that him can't
Miss
get in class
Llewellyn,
and I still have
Miss
to be paying
Llewellyn,
the
where do
lady paying for my
which
Wi-Fi
location
just
are
to pay
you?
him.
Which location are
I
you?
live
Where are
in
you?
Pascal.
Scottsall. All right, Miss
Yeah,
Llewellyn,
my wife,
we
my
we
internet
will
is
sort
up
it.
and running, but
We
I
will
am not
sort
at
it.
home in the days.
Miss
So
Llewellyn,
I
we
don't
hear
leave him
you.
alone.
We hear you. We're gonna sort it out. All right? We're gonna
I
sort it
pray
out.
to God in the name of Jesus that it work and don't just work again.
Once you contact me, Mr. Richards, and the team, we'll get on it to do the best we can to sort it out. All right?
The thing from last week, my pressure reached way over. I not even want to take it. I go the pressure machine supposed to can't read it.
All right. Don't make the pressure go up too much. All right, please. But as of tomorrow, your pressure will go back right down. Watch. We're gonna help
I
you.
hope and pray so in the name of Jesus, sir.
We are on it. So as I said to you, send me a direct message tomorrow morning, and
Okay,
we will get on it. All right? We'll do our
I'll
best.
send it to you about probably after 6 before I leave home, before I'm on the road.
Me say no text me too early. Me say no text me too early.
Even no, I have to text you before I leave home because when I'm on the road, I don't have any service because I can't pay Wi-Fi, paying the teacher, and then have to be buying service to put on the phone. That's gonna broke me. I won't be able to buy food then.
All
so I'll
right,
text you
all right,
to
Miss Llewellyn.
remember, and then I'll give the lady
Your time done.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, man, that's fine. That's fine. Have a good night.
Yes, man, we will work on it. All right. So parents, we want to thank you for your time. There are so many comments in the chat. We will not be able to go through all of them. I'm saving it, and I will look at them tomorrow, and we will definitely, most of them are congratulating the teachers who are doing very well. Teachers, please feel encouraged. Please feel motivated that we are making a difference. That's what we do. That's what we do, right? We are making a difference. So we do thank you, everyone, for your time. We're at 7:20. We had not anticipated going so long, but it has been a very productive meeting. And we want to thank you for your time and thank you for sharing and participating with us. Just like how the parents participated, it's the same way we want the students participate when they go to classes. All right. Over to you, Mrs. Gotsmore, Mrs. Wilson, to wrap up.
Just want to inform the parents that we have gotten the services of a social studies and religious education teacher for grade 8. And so your child should by now be seeing invitations to their social studies and religious education classes. The teacher is Miss Jadu, and we know that she has been engaging the students. We also have gotten the services of a teacher of business basics and POB. So some students were not having business basics in grade 7. Now you have a teacher since Monday. So the invitations are being sent out. Her name is Carla Service White. So for now, only the HFLE teacher for some grade 7 classes are missing and all grade 8 classes are covered. So you should see invitations for 16 subjects for grade 8 and 15 for grade 7. The last thing, sir, parents, please remember to send an email to tech support at stmarytechnicalhighschool.com if you have issues with a password. All right. I also wish to say that it's not all bad. I also wish to say that for the online environment, we have seen a reduction in disciplinary matters, and we wish to congratulate all students for that. So as an institution, We have seen a drastic reduction. It may be because they are not talking to us, and but we have seen a drastic reduction in disciplinary matters as it relates to the online space, and we are grateful for that. The last thing though, I want to ask if there are any teachers on the platform who have an issue or would like to talk to a parent, not really a parent, but who would like to talk generally. You may at this time raise your hand and we unmute your microphone and you can go ahead. So if there's a teacher here who have a burning issue to speak about, please, you could do so at this time. All right, the issues that we had spoken about were garnered from the teachers, so I guess we have adequately spoke about them. Mrs. Ferguson, what's more Ferguson? Please, we thank you and your team for putting together the meeting, and we thank you parents for showing up at this meeting also, and also all teachers. Mrs. Ferguson, it's over to you to close.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wilson. Good night again, parents. Just a reminder that this is a partnership. We are going to look at all the issues or concerns that you have or you've raised, and we are going to ventilate them, ensuring that the students are given the opportunity that they should be given. Also, I want to remind you that our response time is very fast if it is between the hours of 8 to 3. Very fast, 8 to 3, we're very fast. After that, we get a little tired. All right, so fast time, quick time, 8 to 3, and we'll be quick. But after that, we might be slow. You might get a response the other day or the other day. But 8 to 3, and we're good. Have yourselves a good night.